right now in the bill is that you cannot mix it with another compound. So when a kava bar would receive it, they would have to mix it, for example, with water to brew it. So that is a challenge that I'm committed to working on here before the next stop.
Representative Rayner.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And Representative Owen, thank you so much for our brief conversation. I just want to kind of walk me through, because I live in an area where there are different kava bars. I've tasted it one time, and no thank you. But if to each his own. Walk me through what other states have done with regard to this particular issue.
You're recognized.
I am glad you asked that question. So the states that have banned it are Alabama, Arkansas, Indiana, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. The states that have regulated similar to us, 2% or lower with the 7-OH, Kentucky, Texas, Georgia, Utah, South Dakota, Oklahoma, which is 1%, not 2%, and Arizona.
Last follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have more than one question, but okay. With the 2%, the less than 2% or less, how difficult is that to achieve with regard to this product?
You're recognized.
I don't think that difficult. Dr. McCurdy from the University of Florida is here. He's the foremost expert, and he's where we kind of came up with some of these numbers, and he can allude probably better to the science. But the reason we chose 2%, we'd love it to be 0. But the problem is that within the leaf, 7-OH is a natural occurrence. So when you're extracting that, for example, for a tea, it's going to be hard for anybody to, I would think it would be somewhere around that 1% range if you're really trying, but we've given a little buffer to 2%. We do not believe that hits the opioid receptors and puts you in a difficult spot like some of the other products that are sold.
Okay. Any more questions? All right, seeing no more questions. We have a lot of folks that came to, and we want to give them an opportunity to. Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our best to get through all this public testimony. If you are in groups, please designate somebody to come in and present and speak. I'd like to get as many of you as possible I can in, but just time is just not on our side with this. So I'm going to call up Chris McCurdy from the University of Florida. I know you have a few folks here, but you're here for information only. So we have Chris McCurdy and Abhishek Sharma, assistant professor.
Yes, thank you.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Abhishek is part of our team there, so he may not need to speak, but I do want to clarify on this 7-hydroxy mitragynine product. Many of these products are being made now manufactured from concentrated mitragynine products. So the 7-hydroxy is actually a air-formed metabolite in the leaf material. When it's harvested from the tree, it's a natural decomposition product of the major component of the leaf material. That component actually is highly selective for opioid receptors. It's one of the most selective compounds I've ever seen, and I've studied opioid chemistry for over 30 years. It interacts with new opioid receptors in a very concentrated, potent way, and it should be regulated as a drug product. It should go through clinical trials. If it has good efficacy, it should be recognized that way. Unfortunately, it's being sold today as a product, as a Kratom-derived product.
Okay, thank you, sir. So if you're here and you actually want to speak, please line up behind the podium. Listen, and then what we're going to do is we're going to call names out. You got 30 seconds. You have to say your name. Please say your name for the record. All right, you're recognized. Say your name.
Hello, my name is Michael Tu. Today I speak here on behalf of the community as an ambassador to the kava bar community. We are in support of regulation of the kava, Kratom, and Kratom products. That is not the issue. Where we feel the opposition stands in the change of classification. We are small businesses, but that does not mean we're a small community and industry. If the revision goes through, it will fundamentally change our entire industry's business model. Tax implications will be placed upon us, lead to multiple forced business closures due to such a large forced financial burden.
And that's time, sir. Thank you, sir. Next.
Hello, happy April. My name is Nicholas Oliveira. I come on behalf of the community as well. Many of us in opposition to this bill are in agreement that there does need to be regulation about 7-hydroxymetragenine and synthetics. So we are okay with that, provided that the rest of the bill be modified. As it stands now, large companies like prepackaged Kratom seltzer, shot and capsule manufacturers get to line their pockets with the monies that should otherwise go to kava bars and the local communities where those kava bars are. Please make an exception stating that if a Kratom food service establishment uses Kratom product to make liquid teas, if they already have the proper COAs and testing for that Kratom, they should not be needed to be COA'd further at their expense. Thank you,
sir. Next, please state your name.
Teresa Miller, I hope everyone got the flyer I brought by yesterday. The current unregulated access to Kratom is prolonging and intensifying the opioid crisis and should be banned. But with respect to this bill, it's 100 times better than last year. It has to be removed from gas stations and convenience stores. These are a few other things. Point of sale should have huge warning signs how dangerous this is. Packaging potency limits, PSA statewide education on this drug. Free samples have to be prohibited. I don't know if you know that Florida State had sororities. A vendor brought them free Kratom last year. Online sales banned and do not.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Next.
My name is Susan Cave. I would like to ask for your support and vote yes on 1489. My son died April of last year as a result of Kratom. Regulation. My goal is to eventually get Kratom banned. Regulation assumes Kratom is safe, but toxicology reports show where Kratom alone was present in perfectly healthy people. Regulation does not address how Kratom interacts with underlying health issues, how it interacts with prescription drugs, how it basically...
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
She's still talking even though they cut the mic.
Hello, I'm Christine. I'm a resident of Leon County. I have been a responsible Kratom consumer for almost 9 years. Kratom gave me my life back and millions of others. I support lab-tested, unadulterated Kratom. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next.
Hello, my name is Darren Perlmutter. I own Twisted Roots Kava Brewery in Hollywood, Florida, Broward County. And to echo the thoughts of a lot of my peers here, we are not opposed to safe, sensible legislation of Kratom. We do agree that 7-hydroxymetragenine does present issues that should be dealt with in a more official capacity than being sold over the counter in kava bars. However, stating that this bill protects consumers is much like stating that bulls protect China shops. Okay, we're the experts. We have years of experience.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Hello, my name is Thomas Beckham, and I'm a representative of Outpost Brands and the Holistic Alternative Recovery Trust. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. As currently written, this bill is a blatant attempt by one corporation to weaponize legislation and limit competition, masquerading under the guise of consumer protection. According to human pharmacokinetic studies completed at Thomas Jefferson University, the liver naturally converts mitragynine into 7-OH at a rate of 21 to 31%. If the intention is consumer protection, the requirement of composition of a product to be 98% other alkaloids, of which...
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Chairman Committee, my name is Bob Durkin. I worked at the Food and Drug Administration for 12 years, 6 of them as the Deputy Director of the Office of Dietary Supplement Programs. I was responsible for reviewing science of notifications and signing a letter whether a product could or couldn't go to market. I understand dietary ingredients as well as anyone in this room. I want to take the opportunity to wholeheartedly support Dr. McCurdy's position about banning 7-hydroxy and synthetic copies of alkaloids in Kratom.
5 seconds.
They're not dietary ingredients. They don't belong on the market. That would protect the public health. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Troy Borges. I am opposed to 7-hydroxy, but the rest of the bill really limits what we can sell, and that should really be opposed. 7-hydroxy is the issue, but Kratom as a dietary supplement or an extract should be allowed because it helps and saves a lot of people and good in this community. So that's the part that I kind of oppose, and everything else.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Hi, I'm Susan Eppard. I'm here today because my son, 22-year-old Matthew, died from Kratom powder, the least potent form of Kratom available in the United States. Kratom caused him to have a seizure, go into cardiac arrest, and die. His toxicology showed he had no prescription drugs, no street drugs, nor alcohol in his system, and autopsy showed he had no underlying health conditions. I'm a member of the Facebook group Kratom Danger Awareness by my mom, a mom whose only child died from Kratom, and hundreds of our members have lost loved ones to Kratom.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
James Burgess, Florida native, father of 2 daughters, 20 years old. I was very happy to watch them go to Kratom bars instead of regular bars, and enjoy, and tea bars as well. And I think it's a lot better than them going to regular bars. I oppose this bill.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to try to say this as fast as I can. Good morning, Chairman and the committee. I'm here as a public opponent to the PCS for House Bill 1489. I believe there are excessive restrictions laid out in this bill that will not only negatively affect the health and well-being of recovering addicts, but the livelihood and of the owners and employees of local businesses that curate this safe space for those persons. And more importantly, also the fundamental infringement of the rights of all of the citizens. I do, however, agree with the ban of 7-hydroxy.
Well, and what's state your name for the record?
Max Batchelor.
Thank you, sir. Next up.
Good job, Max.
I'm Jackie Gee, and I miss my grandson, Matthew Eller, who went to heaven too soon because of Kratom. He visited me quite often, was loving, caring, giving, and brought me lots of gifts. My favorite gift was Hope Bear with the praying hands. I brought it to his funeral.
10 seconds, ma'am.
So now I never get to see him and have my comfort from him in my later years.
Ma'am. Next up.
Good afternoon. My name is Roy Hernandez. I do oppose this bill. This bill would impose unnecessary restrictions on century-old traditions, harming small businesses like mine, while driving consumers towards a less healthy alternative. Kava bars provide a safe, responsible environment for people seeking relief from stress and anxiety without risks associated with alcohol. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up.
Hello, my name is Brian Del Rey. I'm the president of Club 13. I employ 71 people in St. Johns County and Leon County. The regulations proposed in this bill would make our company less competitive nationally due to having to label Florida labels separate from the rest of the country. Also, the laboratory testing is via marijuana licenses just shortens the funnel of who we could go with raising our prices as well. We already lab test and do all these provisions vis-a-vis the original Kratom Protection Act. Also, I have support of American Kratom.
Thank you, sir. Next up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm John Shenhall, sir. An old-timer recovery, clean and sober, over 42 years. And I'm also the director of American Veterans for Kratom Safe. This bill riddled with FDA overreach and robs people of freedom. It also robs the seniors, the veterans, and the underserved chronic pain people of access to a product that works for them.
10 seconds.
And it hurts the good people and the good consumers. And we oppose this bill, and it does need to be working.
Thank you, sir.
Good job,
Next
John.
up.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Girding. I am a consultant in the supplement industry. For more than a dozen years, I've worked with many businesses who manufacture consumable dietary and nutritional products. I work with a long list of ingredients to develop many formulations for health and wellness, sport nutrition, and supplements. During this time, I've worked with Mitridina speciosa, also known as Kratom, as well as naturally derived Kratom extracts and their active constituent alkaloids. I stand here in opposition to the currently drafted HB 1489. It places excessive burden on manufacturers and limits consumer access to safety formulated products that have ingredients that are researched. The FDA is aware of the research and the safety of the ingredients.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Tortorisi on behalf of Drink Kava Bar and the Kava community from Daytona Beach. And I also want to say I own a Kava bar and I own 2 smoke shops. And I completely agree that 7-hydroxy does need to be extremely regulated. And we literally tell customers that come in, because we do sell it, we're like, hey, be cautious with this. I don't like it personally, don't use it. But when we brew Kratom at the bar,
10 seconds.
it's a much milder version of Kratom, and it's completely different product. So there needs to be regulation that doesn't harm the kava bars. And he mentioned it should be brewed with water. It is brewed with water. It's crushed Kratom leaf brewed with water. So what he mentioned earlier, that's exactly how it is served. Okay.
Thank you.
It's like.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name is Lauren Turk, and I am the general manager and owner of Green Turtle Kava Bar in St. Augustine. I do agree that there needs to be some regulations on Kratom because of gas stations and smoke shops selling dirty product that give the kava bars a bad name. Kava bars have been in Florida for about 23 years now. We have never heard of a death outside from a kava bar. Most have come from Kratom and smoke shops. It does work on the opioid receptors, but it does work like coffee. It does not open the pathway like a pharmaceutical opioid.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Jolly, Kava user, and I agree with what he said, which is why I oppose this bill. He pointed out that, he's kind of targeting the synthetics, which people agree there's a problem with, but then it becomes onerous on kava bars. You talk to, I'm sure most of these people back there, they know somebody who is not an addict anymore because of Kratom.
10 seconds.
Is, able to live their life because they're not in chronic pain anymore. My ex-wife, my son's mother, is no longer addicted to pain pills like so many people we had with opioid addiction in this
Time.
because of this.
Thank you, sir. You're recognized.
Hi, I'm Amanda Warden. I'm the general manager of 2 kava bars, Blue Lagoon and Flamingo. This bill would impose debilitating regulatory burdens on small businesses. Each kava bar pays around $4,000 per month in sales tax. If there are roughly 400 kava/kratom bars in Florida, that is $1.6 million per month and $19 million lost in sales tax revenue for the state each year. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up.
Thank you very much. My name is Kenneth Hoyampa. I am co-owner of Grassroots Kava House in the Tampa Bay area. In regards to this bill, I respectfully oppose this bill as currently written. This bill makes no clear provisions to recognize the dozens of businesses that brew a simple kratom tea and sells it by the cup. Will we be classified as a manufacturer since processing the leaf into the tea defines it as a kratom product that is a beverage?
10 seconds.
Do we need to label? The cost of bottling, labeling, and all this favors the resources of large faceless corporations, often out of state, and over the dozens and dozens of small businesses.
Thank you, sir. You're recognized.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Committee. My name is Corbin Monge. I'm a U.S. Army veteran and co-owner of the Kava Bar Nocturne Teas. I strongly oppose this bill in the way it's currently written. I support regulation of 7-OH and kratom extracts. However, I do oppose Kava bars being treated as manufacturers when it comes to brewing kratom products. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're recognized.
How's it going? My name is Michael Howard. I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. I just want to say, as a whole, members, the bill is a direct attack on personal freedom. It assumes that the government knows better than the responsible adults who make informed choices. Where does this end? If we allow lawmakers to dictate what legal adults can and cannot consume responsibly, we open the door to even greater government overreach. If you believe in personal liberty and the right to choose and in protecting the business that follows the law, then House Bill 1489 must be opposed.
Thank you, sir.
Nice.
Good afternoon. My name is Abram Jacobson. I represent a kratom manufacturer out of St. Pete, Florida. Without being too repetitive here, basically what I'd like to say is that there's already existing regulations protecting kratom consumers in the state of Florida. This bill, as it's proposed, is duplication of efforts and extremely costly for the small business owners that are affected here today. So we oppose this bill.
Thank you, sir. Next up.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeffrey Bowman. I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. I built the first kava bar in the state of Florida in 2002. We have operated safely since then. This bill is going to cause us extreme harm to be able to continue to operate and sell kratom tea. I ask that you allow it to be amended so kava bars aren't considered manufacturers, or please vote no on HB 1489. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Good job, Omen.
Hello, I'm Jamie Torgler, owner of Sunset Kava Bar in DeLand over in Volusia County. I can tell you that my business is a family-owned business. My wife, myself, my 2 daughters who are both in their 20s, and my son-in-law It is a way of income for our entire family, and these added measures will definitely impact our ability to run a business. I can tell you that the way we brew our tea is the same way that you brew coffee. It's no different in the process, and I can also tell you that...
Thank you, sir. Next up.
I am Tony Childers from Melbourne, Florida. I'm the owner of Island Root Kava Bar. I have 14 locations throughout Florida. Our first one we opened is 2011. I oppose this bill, and I think it needs to be rewritten. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
My name is John Shealy, partners of Island Root Kava Bar. Your bill's fine. We need some changes, amendments. I'm happy that he's open-minded about it. That's what's important, right? Just be open-minded for change that benefits all. Because it's a big community, as you see. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Good morning. This is Andrew Schroeder. Thank you, Chair, and the members of the committee for my time today. I am General Manager of Adobe Graffiti Lounge, a veteran-owned kava bar in Bradenton, Florida, where we serve lab-tested, responsibly sourced kratom on our menu. This bill risks classifying us as processors, as others have stated before. Every regulation will shutter dozens of local businesses without making consumers any safer. Let us treat us like coffee shops. No one asks for them to lab test every cup they brew. We're ready to work with you to craft clear, fair policy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up.
Hi, how are you? My name is Greg Crimmin. I'm a local kava bar owner. I really respect the fact that Representative Owen here stopped by the other day to check it out himself. I am anti-7OH. I would just like to see some more clear verbiage to protect kava bars and the community.
Thank you. Next up. John Yeen. Ladies and gentlemen, as one of the CFO, HB 1489 isn't just bad policy, it's bad economics. The bill threatens small businesses, disrupts local economies, and discourages entrepreneurship. When the government overregulates an industry, it doesn't protect consumers, it pushes them towards unregulated alternatives, creating a black market that's harder to control and more dangerous for everyone. Instead of sifting growth, 10 seconds. We should be fostering a business environment where responsible entrepreneurs can thrive.
Thank you, sir. We got 2 more people up. You're recognized.
Hello, my name is Justin Turk. I oppose this bill because I feel it negatively affects local businesses and the kava community. I go to a kava bar to get a tea because I know it's a natural product with minor ingredients, water, kratom, and lemon. And what this bill is going to do is it's going to force the kava bars to have to use these packaged products that are loaded with additives. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Last and final.
Hello. I'm Laura Wilkins, and I own and operate 2 kava bars in Melbourne, Florida. The stipulations on this bill that I strongly oppose basically would cause over approximately 400 businesses to probably close. 7-hydroxy, I am not
10 seconds.
I'm opposed to 7-hydroxy, and I think the bill needs to be rewrote for 7-hydroxy, not kava bars. Thank you.
All right, we're going to debate. Members, Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Chair General Lombardro. I want to thank you for what you just did with the public comment. That was just epic, giving everyone an opportunity. Thank you.
Ms. Kamani.
I just want to say thank you to all the advocates who came here, and thank you to the rep too. I know you're going to work on adjusting the bill to many of these concerns. I do have a team member that is a kava user, and she expressed her concerns to me. So I want to respect my staff and take the recommendation. So I'll be a no vote today, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to ban 7-hydroxy, but also ensure that we're not impacting our small businesses, which have been a place of respite for a lot of consumers here, clearly. Thank you.
Rep Nixon.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry, I'm taking a point of personal privilege. I have some basically family in the audience. I'll call them family. I have my big sister, Leslie Scott Jean Bart, in the audience, and my little niece, Layla, who is at school at FIU. So welcome to the Florida House, y'all.
Welcome to the Florida House. Rayner, Representative Rayner.
Not you calling me Rainer. I love it though.
That means we're friends because only friends get to call me Rainer. Everyone else, representative or attorney.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so, but seriously, Rep Owen, I mean, thank you so much for as I said, the conversation. I am going to be a soft yes today, and I mean a very, very soft yes. I think that some of the concerns that were brought up, I think that we need to really look at how we can do what you want, ban the 7-hydroxy, but also allow for the kava bars to still do what they need to do, because I think it was really interesting. One of the individuals came up and said, when he brews it at his kava bar, it's not necessarily the same as some of the synthetics. So I think that we got to figure out the best course of action. That doesn't mean we have inaction, but it just means we've got to come up with the best course of action. Obviously, I think this bill has 2 more stops, so there's time to get it right. So for that reason, I will be a soft yes today.
Thank you. Representative Mayfield.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Real quick, one, I wanted to thank you for our conversation this morning, and I'm looking forward to working on the GAVA adjustments to the bill. And I want to thank Tony Childress from my community for coming out here, and thank you for your emails and your comments on it. And with that, I'm in support of your bill.
All right, seeing that, Representative Owen waves close. Amy, will you please call the roll?
Chair DeLombardo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Porras,
Yes.
Ranking Member Anton is excused. Representatives Benaroche,
Yes.
USADA,
Yes.
Escamani,
No.
Gentry,
Yes.
Henson,
I did want to debate, but yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Mayfield,
Yes.
McFarland,
Yes.
Nixon,
No.
Oliver,
Yes.
Overdorf,
Yes, ma'am.
Sapp,
Yes.
Spencer,
Yes, ma'am.
Valdez,
Yes.
Yeager,
Yes.
ex officio Rayner,
Yes.
16 yeas and 2 nays, Mr. Chair.
Congratulations by your vote. The bill will be reported favorably. Seeing we have no further business, Representative Yeager moves that we rise without objection.